Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shaunneka and today I will be guiding you through a simple Yin Yoga sequence. So today's practice is going to be a little bit on the shorter side. I know a lot of the classes that I've been putting out recently have been a bit longer. It will be shorter, but we will be doing longer holds and we will not be using any props. So trying to keep it as simple as possible. For this practice, like I said, you're not going to need any props and we will go ahead and get started. So our first posture will be child's pose. So finding a tabletop position. Bringing your knees as wide as they can go for you and bringing your big toes to touch at the back. Sending your hips all the way back into that saddle you've created with your feet. And then from here, walk your hands closer towards the top of the mat, bringing your left cheek to the mat. Really taking these few moments to just arrive and settle in the pose. Allowing the belly to be soft. So we'll gently from here turn our cheek to the opposite side, bringing a little bit of balance into the neck. Coming into our last few breaths here, just very gently bend the elbows, bring your hands to prayer, and just bring the heels of your hands just at the nape of your neck. You can drag your elbows towards you to pull the skin back. Last few breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. If you brought your hands behind you, bring them back in front of you. Gently inchworm yourself back to center. Plant your palms, rock forward, tuck your toes under, pick up your knees to draw your knees closed, and drape your belly back over your thighs. For a closed-legged child's pose, you can stack fist on fist. And just take a moment here before we move on. And if you're ever feeling low back pain or discomfort in the low back in this position, think about squeezing your knees together. So sitting all the way back up, finding ourselves back in that tabletop position for frog. So opening your knees back up nice and wide as they can go for you. And then flexing your feet so that your knees and your toes are pointing in the same direction. So before you come down, you want to think about pushing your bum back before you come down. So resisting, pushing gently against that wall of resistance behind you, making your way onto your forearms. And instantaneously, when we come into a position like this, we tense and engage the hamstrings and the inner groin. So really just very gently release the groin, release the quads, allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears, make space. Relax the jaw. Even place your forehead on stacked palms. And again, allowing the belly to be soft. So something that I like to do is I interlace my fingers and I take my thumbs, pushing the side of my hand into the floor, into the mat, and then I place my thumbs just in between my nose bridge. I just kind of let my head rest and give myself a little massage there. So you're pushing your thumbs right where your eyebrows begin. Maybe really bring your attention inwards. You can feel those small openings of space. Always remembering to push very gently towards that imaginary wall. Coming into our last few breaths here. If you want to go deeper, if you can bring your chest to the mat without compromising the level of your hips, you can do that. I'm feeling a bit tighter today, so I will stay where I am. Let's go ahead and take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale, swell up. Really feel the back of the rib cage expand. And sigh it out. Inhale, feel the belly expand. And exhale. So very gently lift the gaze and just inchworm yourself forward, lowering very, very gently onto your belly. You can leave your legs out wide and just stack palms and allow the forehead to rest. And shimmy your hips from side to side. And when you're ready, you can draw your legs closed, shimmy your hips from side to side, maybe bend the knees, and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Making our way into a Sphinx Seal combo. So coming up onto your forearms, bringing your feet as wide as your mat. And you want to remember that everything below the waist is nice and soft, so you're not squeezing your glutes or engaging your quads. Everything is nice and relaxed. Coming up onto your forearms, making sure that your shoulders are in line with your elbows, and then taking your hands and then just turning them slightly so that they're pointing towards the top corners of your mat. And then if you want, you can gently move your elbows so that they're slightly in front of your shoulder. From here, drag or pull your elbows back towards your hip points. And when I do that, you notice that my chest lifts. So you want to avoid hunching and more lifting, like a rise up. So you should be feeling slight compression in the low back, but no pinching. If you are feeling a pinching sensation, then I would invite you to back off just a little bit, maybe lowering down. You can take a few neck rolls here if you'd like. Making sure to switch directions. So if you'd like to go deeper for these last few breaths, you can push into your palms and lift your chest up off of the mat. So just remembering that your hip bones should still be pressing into the mat. You can also bring your hands a little bit wider if that feels better. And drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Last few breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths here. And when you're inhaling, thinking about bringing that breath right up underneath the rib cage, right into the armpits. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently lower back down onto your forearms and then onto stacked palms. And just take a moment. From here, rolling onto our backs. Taking a twist from here, push into your feet, pick up your hips, and swing them over to the left and set them back down. Draw your knees in towards your chest and drop both knees to the right, gaze to the left. So you want to make space for your torso and length in the spine. So push into your right elbow, pick up your chest, and rotate your chest so it's more towards the ceiling. Cactusing and looking over that left arm. Taking our last few breaths here. If you want, you can reach that left arm up above. Let's take our last 2 breaths, and if you have that left arm up overhead, on the inhale, really reach. So inhale here, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Bringing your arm out if you had it up and above, bending the knees back in towards the chest. You can rock from side to side here, just massaging the low back a little. Making small circles on the ceiling with your knees in one direction. and the other direction. And we'll set ourselves up for the other side, bringing your feet back to the mat, pushing into your feet. Pick up your hips and swing them to the right. Draw both knees in towards the chest, dropping both knees to the left. And again, push your left elbow into the mat to pick up your chest. Rotate more towards the ceiling, cactusing that right arm and looking over the right shoulder. Coming into our last few breaths, reaching that right arm up above if you want. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale, reach. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently draw that arm back down, draw the knees in towards your chest. And again, gently rock from side to side. From here, we will take double wind relieving pose before we find our Shavasana. So draw both knees in towards your chest. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders up off of the mat. You can grab onto your feet, your heels, or you can wrap your arms nice and tightly around your shins or your knees, compressing your thighs up against your belly. Squeeze in for 3. For 2. Let's take a nice big inhale. And on the exhale, gently release. Extend the legs out wide, arms out wide for your Shavasana. You can also take tree pose in your Shavasana, sometimes that feels nice. And ensuring that you are making space for the neck. So again, push into your elbows, pick up your chest, draw your shoulders down and away from your ears, and then set yourself back down. So feeling free to stay here for as long as you'd like. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, and I will see you back here again soon. Have a wonderful day.